The Requisition Pool system has been reworked, and today we will go through the results of a lot of pools to see if the math adds up and whether the new Mercy system is as exciting as the developers claim. The Requisition Pull rework has been something that has been asked for from players for a long time. The biggest issue in the past was that you could hit a block where it didn't matter how many pulls you did, you could go on horrific streaks that would leave you without a legendary character for an insane amount of time. Now, a new Mercy system has been added which guarantees you a legendary character every 300 pulls. Personally, I've been waiting on getting Morven Val since I started playing, and I've been slowly grinding her from the rogue trader at the cost of more XP tombs, something which of course I wasn't really happy with. But for new players it's even worse. When you are seeing Celestines and Ragnars being listed as must-have characters, then it's tough to miss out. And so a set of improvements came into the recent patch aimed at helping this. It was split up into two parts. There's an improvement for single requisition scrolls and for doing a 10 pool. And the difference between the two of these overall is pretty simple. If you have all characters and are not really looking for shards, then you should be doing single requisition pools, as you have an ever so slightly higher chance to get orbs than full characters or character shards. Otherwise, you should always be saving up and doing a 10 pool. So for the majority of people in the game, make sure you save and do the 10 pools. Don't be tempted into doing a single requisition pool. And so with that in mind, I wanted to stress test the system and see if the math works out, and what it means for you as a player. To do this, I saved up all my requisition scrolls for a very long time, and then made 1300 requisition 10 pools. I've analysed those pools and looked at whether everything looks to be in order. I'm not going to show you all 1300 pools, I'm just going to show you the results. One thing to note, I am a small sample size across the whole of Tacticus, so it's expected that there's some variance, and I write this before I've even analysed everything, so that's more just a note about data and sample sizes rather than a specific warning about what's going to come in the video. However, even with that said, I still expect to be within the ballpark of all the numbers the developers have given us. And what are those numbers we're looking to hit? Very simply, for full legendary characters, we should be getting them between 0.6 and 0.88% of the time. And later in the video, I'll translate that percentage into something that you can understand a bit easier. But let's just stick with the percentages for now. The full epic characters should be gained 1.39% of the time, full rare characters 2.58%, full uncommon characters 5.37%, full common characters 9.94%, full machine of war characters should be 1.66%, then getting any character shard should be 56.55% of the time, so more than half the time you're going to get some character shards, and then finally any type of orb should be around 21.63% of the time. And the developers state very clearly in the patch notes that these adjustments should make requisition orders more rewarding and exciting across the board. So let's dive into how it works now and see whether that's true. We'll start by taking a look at the new system and see it working. Coming into the requisition drop section, first we click on the 10 pools option. Then we click on the little dice in the top left hand corner. That brings up this screen which shows you the percentage chance of getting each character, the chance of getting character shards, and the chance of getting orbs. At the top of the screen, you can see the new Mercy system being displayed, and it shows you how many drops there are left until it activates. As this was the first time I'd played since the new system had been released, it tells me that it'll activate after 100 more drops. If we click on the little I for information button, then we get a bunch more information. It tells you the exact percentage chance of getting a legendary character in the next drop, how the system works, and then it finishes with a number of drops without having a legendary character. So let's see what actually happens when we do a pool. We can also see if we get anything useful from the pool as well. One thing to note while this is going on is that I've checked to see if there is some reason for the different colours of the flames of the drops or the drop pods themselves, but there doesn't seem to be. I think this is an area that could easily be improved so that it's a bit more like FIFA Ultimate Team for those of you that play console games, because when you're opening packs, you really get to see early that you've got something cool coming down, and then there's a little bit of anticipation in what's coming, and I presume that might have been the plan at some point, but they've just never bothered to finish it off. So from this first drop, I got 10 Marneus Calgar shards, but nothing else too interesting. And look at who is there as the main character drop. It's Incissus, which I can imagine quite a few of you are laughing away at. Why is it that we always get Incissus so often? Well, that's simple. He is one of 12 common characters currently available from the Requisition Pulls, and he's pretty damn memorable in his stunning white outfit. We'll see later on if he does appear more often than others though. The full list of common characters is Angrax, Bellator, Calandis, Certis, Gibbascraps, Immospec, Incissus, Makotep, Sybil Divine, Sword Brother Godswill, Vindicta, and Yazagor. And so you're going to have a higher chance to get these characters than you are any other characters, so you should just be expecting this. It also means I'd really be careful in trying to get the shards for these characters from somewhere else, because as you go through the game, you will get a lot of them from here. If we come back to check on the Mercy system again, we can see that it now says it will activate in 90 more drops, and that we've had 10 drops without a legendary character. So far, so good. So let's skip forwards a bit, and we'll see how this changes. Oh, one thing, the Machine of Wars are pretty funny. They are absolutely massive, so big that they don't even fit fully onto the screen. All of them are the same, and you can only see a little bit of them. Well, actually, next up is Volk, and he's probably one of the biggest normal characters as well. So this is a beast of a drop pod that's carrying these fat boys around. But let's keep going. So we reached the point where we've done the first 90 pools, and I haven't had a legendary character yet. It tells me the Mercy system will activate after another 10 drops, and that it's still 60% chance of getting a legendary character. So let's do one more 10 pool and see how that changes. Okay, let's see what we get in this one. Alright, starting off with an Azkor. There's a common character, Yazagor. Bit of Actus. Okay, some orbs. Bit of Typhus. There's Exeter Row. That's somebody that I'm really looking for. Bit of Macer. Okay, a big Malleus. Another common character, Vindicta. And finishing off with another common character, Calandis. So, common characters galore, but no legendary character. So now if we go back to look at the Mercy system, it tells us that it's active and we are guaranteed a legendary character drop within the next 200 drops. We can see the Mercy system in action here. It's increased the base chance by 0.01%, and the next time it'll increase by another 0.01%. I'm not sure if this is what the developers were talking about when they mentioned it being exciting, but it's hardly moving the needle for me. Let's do one more drop, and then we'll skip ahead again if we don't get a legendary character. Okay, a little bit of Pastilian, Revas, Tyrant Guard, Niall, ooh, Janzar, Azrael, some orbs, Thaddeus, Pastilian again, and Morven Val. Ah, my goodness. So the legendary character that I've been waiting for comes up first in the drops after the Mercy system's been activated. You can't believe how long I've been waiting for this weird looking lady in metal. Now, I don't know if there's a slight waiting of receiving a legendary character that you don't yet have when the Mercy system is active. I think that's something we're going to find out as we go. It's probably me just being very lucky here, but I'm very happy with this. And if we look at the Mercy system again, we can see that it says that it will activate in 92 more drops. And that's really strange. It seems to think that I already had 8 drops since receiving Morven Val, which didn't look like it was the case for me, as she was the last one out of the drop pod. So something weird going on there, but either way, it's beneficial for me as I'm on the way to another legendary pool. Before we continue on, I want to take a moment to celebrate with all of you, as I've just passed an amazing landmark in my creator career. I passed 4K subs with my last video, And the truth is that I never once thought that I'd be here doing this and having people really enjoy my videos. But that obviously seems to be the case, as I see many of you coming back time and time again to check out my new work and to share your side of Tacticus. I read every comment and I take so much out of all of your feedback, whether it's positive or negative. I really appreciate it all. So as a thank you, and in true Tacticus fashion, it's time to get your well-deserved reward. As we have a Halloween survival event with Chaos starting next week, and the Death Guard have hit the top of the charts in last week's video, Pastilian is going to be your champion of choice. 10 shards for Pastilian and 4k gold will be your reward. So just enter the code DBPreacher4K into the input code screen, hit redeem, and off you go. Remember, if you want more rewards, then don't only hit subscribe on my channel, but make sure that you're following all our wonderful content creators for Tacticus. We all have a unique take, style, and information about the game, so support them all, and we'll continue to support you. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the video now. I promise I won't make you sit through 1300 pulls, but I did. I've recorded every full character pulled, every character shard, and every orb I've received, and this was a painstaking task. But I did it all for you, my wonderful community. So let's see what it tells us. I'm going to start with a complete breakdown of characters, and then look at the orbs afterwards. Starting from the top, I received a grand total of 23,672 shards, and that includes converting any full characters into shards. So that's a serious amount of shards in truth. These are split up into 4,225 common shards, 5,025 uncommon shards, 3,477 rare shards, 5,005 epic shards, 4,970 legendary shards, and 970 machine of war shards. And I think the first thing to see here is that after 1300 pulls, we've received pretty much the same amount of shards across all rarities. Okay, rare shards are a little bit lower than the others, but generally you get the same amount of shards for each rarity. And this is a really important point, because I do understand that people are after character unlocks when they're starting out, but overall you have a pretty equal chance to get shards. This is definitely a bit of a surprise in the results for me for sure, but a welcome one. If we dive deeper into this, we can see the results for each rarity. For common, my most received characters were Vindicta, Calandus, and then Incisus. Bellator was the least received. For uncommon, Tiark was way out ahead, then it was Aleph Null and Ithana, and Toth was the least. For rare, it was Neurothrope, Caraudius, and Darkstrider. Eldrion was the least, but there were 4 characters under 100 shards. For epic, I got 1,105 Tank Smasher shards. He really wants to join me. Anufet and Harkin were next in the list, but I barely got a shard for Azrael. For legendary, this was a lot closer, and it's really split into 2 buckets. Those that I got a full character for, and those that I didn't. And look at poor Castellan Creed. I only got 15 shards for one of my favourite characters.
It's an absolute outrage, and I will be writing to the Imperium immediately about this.
Then for the Machines of War, I got a chunk of Malleus, and the rest were pretty equal. So okay, very interesting, but what about the question at the start? Does the Mercy system work for Requisition scrolls? So I took a deep look into the number of full characters that I pulled, and I broke it down like this. I got 119 full common characters, 52 uncommon characters, 26 rare characters, 18 epic characters, 10 legendary characters, and 21 full Machine of War characters. And that's a total of 246 full characters received, which means that around 19% of my pulls were a full character. Of course, I'm guaranteed to get one every 10 pulls, so it makes sense that this is quite high. And if we pull up the original percentages that the developers would said would happen, and then we translate my pulls into percentages of the total number of pulls we got, we can see how they compare. So with my pulls, I got a full common character 9.15% of the time. Uncommon was 4%, rare 2%, epic 1.38%, legendary 0.77%, and Machine of War characters was 1.62%. And oh boy, that's pretty spot on. Rare and uncommons maybe a little bit low, but absolutely within tolerances of big data analysis. So again, the developers at Tacticus have done a great job with hitting their own numbers in reality. Now, I'm not going to say that they've fulfilled their goals of making the pools exciting, but they are at least working. But what does this mean for you as a player? Based on my data, on average, you should expect to get a common character every 11 pools, an uncommon character every 25 pools, rare character, 50 pools, epic character, 72 pools, legendary character, 130 pools, and a machine of war character every 62 pools. And so I think the legendary characters is really interesting. On average, you will get one every 130 pools. That means 13 10 pools, and as all of you know, it takes quite a while to save up for a 10 pool. It's not like this is something you're getting every week. When I was starting out, it felt like I was getting one 10 pool every month, but if that still holds true, it would take you around 13 months to pool a legendary character at present, and that's no joke, and it means the 3 months it takes you to grind a character from the campaigns is very fair in truth. When you're a brand new player though, you do get a bit more requisition scrolls in order to speed you along, as you get scrolls for completing campaigns or for the 24-hour missions that appear after you complete a campaign, as well as a bunch of other places. So if you're starting out, I think you might be getting maybe 2 requisition 10 pools per month, which means it's about half that time. Then if you buy the Ultimate Battle Pass, which gives you an extra 10 requisition pools per month, then this would be another chance to get a legendary character in about half the time. So that's quite a saving, and if ever there was an advertisement for the Ultimate Battle Pass, especially as a new player, then I think that would be it. But for me, if these calculations are correct, then I don't find this system very exciting at all. And at least now, you can set these numbers in your mind and have a much better understanding of the reality of when you're likely to get a new character dropping, depending on how many requisition scrolls you collect each month. So how about orbs? Well, I received 931 of them in total. This was split up into 329 uncommon orbs, 247 rare orbs, 207 epic orbs, and 148 legendary orbs. So definitely less legendary orbs than the others, and that only gave me enough legendary orbs to take less than 3 characters to winged ranking. And that's not really great for a year worth of pools, is it? In terms of the breakdown of which factions I got the most, Imperial and Xenos were pretty equal, with Chaos being a fair bit behind. I know that the maths say that it's all equal, but I wonder if there's just a slight weighting because Chaos has less characters. It's more than likely just an anomaly though, but overall, I don't find this exciting either. Okay, so that's everything for today. In the upcoming weeks, I'll also do a deep dive into the Mercy system for upgrades because I know that there's been a lot of discussion around that topic too. But for today, let me know in the comments below if these adjustments make requisition orders more rewarding and exciting across the board as the developers claim.